to my sketching class. Today I'm going to show you how to sketch a black rhinoceros. So we are using the reference from the book called Animal, published by DK. If you have the book, we are on page 229. Okay. We're going to focus on the portraits only. We're not going to draw the whole body because it will be a lot of detail and it will be too small to sketch. I want to use 2B or HB or regular pencils to draw a circle at the middle of the page. The circles should be small. You can see that when I start the sketch, I start lightly and I keep going. My view is at the middle of the circle, not along the line. The circle is about 1/3 of the width of our sketching page, not too much. Okay. Make it light, so later on when you erase, you can erase it quickly. We're gonna draw a horizontal line to divide the circle into two parts. Make sure the horizontal line is parallel to the top and the bottom edges of our sketching page. And of course, when you draw a straight line, your eye view is always go before your pencil. Keep drawing back and forth to correct the line. And then divide the diameter inside the circle into two parts. Use your pencil and your thumb to measure the half right of the diameter and compare to the half left. We need to make sure two lengths are in the same size. Then we draw a vertical line that passes the mark we just made. We make sure that the vertical line is straight and parallel to the left and the right edges of our sketching page. You can use ruler if you want. But again, try to make the lines soft. We're gonna divide all the radiuses inside the circle into 4 even parts. We divide each radius into 2 parts first. We use pencil and our thumb to check and see if they are equal to each other. If they are, the mark is right at the middle. Then we're gonna go ahead and do the next step, which is dividing each half into 2 parts. We do the same to the rest of the radius. Again, if you're not sure about the width of those sections, use your pencil to check. That's the simplest way and effective way to check. Okay. Then we're gonna draw a horizontal line that passes the first mark on the bottom radius. We draw 2 vertical lines that pass the second marks on the right radius and the first mark. Draw another horizontal line that passes the second mark on the bottom radius. To draw the eye, it's kind of tricky. We're gonna start at the middle of the first section on the bottom radius. We draw a curve that is slightly curved to the bottom. This will slide to the top, and when you pass the first mark on the right radius, quickly turn the line to the bottom right, and it will stop before it touches the last vertical line. You need to make sure that the right corner of the eye is higher than the left corner, and then draw a curve that is slightly curved to the bottom to draw a, um, a border between the upper lid and the lower lid. From the same mark, draw a curve, and this curve should be roundest at the bottom right. As it goes to the left, the line will be straighter, flatter a little bit, but it's still curved overall. Under the eyes, there will be some wrinkles. You can make it up. It doesn't have to look exactly the same as the reference. But if you draw the wrinkles at the bottom, under the eye, the wrinkles should be curved to the bottom. But if you draw the wrinkles above the eye, there should be curved to the top. It's just the way the muscles of the eyes are. The last part I would like you to do is the most obvious border between the lower lid and the cheek. We start at the intersection between the third horizontal line and the third vertical line. We draw a curve that is long, and you can see that they will not touch the first horizontal line. They stop right away when they pass the second horizontal line. Just make it simple like that to mark down the direction of the muscle. When we do the shading, we're going to go back and add more detail. From the middle, we make a mark on the second horizontal line, which is right under the fourth section on the right radius. We draw a curve, and then when it's about to reach the first horizontal line, add another curve like that to mark down the border between the area of the eye and the back of the head. When you're done, we draw a horizontal line that passes the bottom of the circle. We duplicate half of a radius. Use your pencil and your thumb to measure half of a radius and then duplicate to the bottom. We duplicate half of a radius. To the right side of the circle, we draw a vertical line. Also add a vertical line that passes the right side of the circle. And try to make the lines soft. We do the same thing to the left. We duplicate half of a radius to the left side of the circle. We draw a vertical line from that mark and also draw a vertical line that passes the left side of the circle. we duplicate half of a radius one more time to the left side of the first vertical line, and we add a vertical line. Now we need to develop the lip. If you have the reference, you will see that the lip will go along with the curve. It looks like there's a line, a line that goes all the way to the bottom and connect to the lip corner. So you can draw a light line like that. The line passes the intersection between the fourth horizontal line and the sixth vertical line, but you don't want to make the lines too obvious. We make the line slide to the bottom left, it will get close to the last horizontal line. It's stop at the middle of the gap between the third and the fourth vertical lines. Then we add another line. So this will be the lip corner. It passes the intersection between the last horizontal line and the third vertical line. The line is slightly curved to the bottom. And then when you pass the second vertical line, draw a curve for the tip of the mouth. The nostril is kind of large, so at the intersection, at the middle of the gap between the third and the fourth horizontal line, we draw a curve. We stop when we pass the fourth horizontal line. Near the intersection between the fourth horizontal line and the third vertical line, we add 1 and 2 curve. You can see that the second curve starts inside the first curve. And when you draw the third curve, same thing. But look at this. The third one is kind of curved to the right, but it's flat. The lip corner is right here, and then near the second vertical line, we draw a curve for the muscle of the lower lip, for the chin. Turn the line to the top right, and we're going to make the line pass the intersection between the last horizontal line and the fifth vertical line. Then, make the line slide to the top right. When you are about to reach the seventh vertical line, turn the line to the top right. We make the line pass the intersection between the last vertical line and the third horizontal line. When you draw the front of the mouth, use multiple curved lines. Look at the reference. You can see that we have to draw curved lines to capture the wrinkles and the roughness of the skin. Make sure the gap between those wrinkles are not the same, otherwise it will look kind of unnatural. When you pass, when you reach the first horizontal line, stop there. I would like you to spend about 30 seconds to check your work. This curve's right here kind of tricky. It depends on how many curves you have. You will have that many wrinkles. But overall, the line will be diagonal a little bit. I think I made some mistakes right here. I'm gonna fix it by starting from the top. I'm going to make a mark that is close to the first vertical line. And from here, I want to repeat all the curves. If you have the reference, you can see that even though the lines are stacked by multiple curves, but the outline will sliding to go to the top left, not the top or the top right. So sorry about this part. We're gonna use eraser. Remove the wrong line. Right. And then at the top, we're gonna draw a horizontal line that passes the top of the circle. We duplicate a radius to the top. Of the circle. I'm gonna go ahead and draw curved lines to map out the border between the horn and the head. The horn is pretty long. So from where we stop the front of the mouth, we draw a curve. You can see that this curve is curved the most when it's between the first and the second horizontal line. Okay, once you pass the first horizontal line, draw another curve. This curve will be curved the most when it's under the first horizontal line. Look at the reference, check if it work. And then under the second horizontal line, we draw 1 and 2 line. So the first line will be the line that connects two horns together. The second line kind of loose. It's not really only curved to the bottom. It's kind of curved to the top as well, but the line is kind of loose. We need to make sure that the base of the second horn will not touch the fourth vertical line. And of course, the second horn will be lower than the first one. You just need to check using the first horizontal line. Right here, on the right side, not at the bottom, on the right side near the bottom of the second horn, we draw a little curve. The curve will become further away from the base of the horn as it goes to the bottom. So this is how we capture the texture of the muscle under the horn. When you draw the head, we start from the right side of the muscle or the curve we just made. We draw a curve for the top of the head and we'll make it touch the first horizontal line. Make it simple. It will touch the first horizontal line at the spot near the last vertical line. I'm gonna make it wrong. Give me 1 second. In order to fix my mistake. Okay. My bad. Here's what we're gonna do. I just checked the reference. I noticed that the top of the head is lower than the top of the second horn. So we're gonna lower the head a little bit. We keep the same line, and then near the fifth vertical line, we add 1, 2 line. Sorry about this part. We're gonna keep the top. We're gonna modify the top a little bit to capture the muscle In order to do that, near the fifth vertical line, we draw a curve like this. To draw the ear, at the middle of the gap between the fourth and the fifth vertical lines, we draw a wavy line, and the top of the wavy line will go above the first horizontal line. Another wavy line, and then we draw a wavy line to divide the shape into two parts. So this will be the inside of the ear, and this will be the outside of the ear. When you draw the right ear, we're gonna draw a curve like that for the wrinkles under the ear, and it's above the second horizontal line. We draw a wavy line. You may want to check a little bit. Because of perspective, the right ear will be larger than the left ear. You can use pencil and go like this. You can see that the tip of the ears and the tip of the first horn are kinda at the same level. We draw the shape of the whole ear, and then from the bottom, we draw two wavy lines to separate the inner ear from the outer ear. The wrinkle will go all the way to the bottom, right? So we sketch lightly like this. Later on, we're gonna keep this line, and we're gonna erase all the lines inside the ear. Almost done. At the middle of the gap between the sixth and the seventh vertical lines, we draw a curve that is curved to the left, and when you are about to reach the last vertical line, turn the line to the top. This should be behind the tip of the right ear. At the bottom from the sixth horizontal line, we draw one curve like this for the wrinkles. Near the seventh vertical lines, we draw a wavy line. And overall, the line will be sliding to the bottom, right? We're gonna add the leaves later in case you would like, but it will be optional. So I would like you to check your work, put your sketch far away, at least one arm far away, check the sketch and see how it looks. Just make sure it looks like a rhinoceros. You can make it up. You can make up the details if you would like. Adjust the details to make your rhinoceros unique. When you feel like you're done, go ahead and use eraser. Erase the circle, all the horizontal lines and vertical lines. we have a, we have so many guidelines. You want to erase carefully. You can take more time to do so. And also, it depends on um, your perspective. If you love to have the wrinkles appear more obvious, it will make your rhinoceros older. But if you just want to have few wrinkles, it will make your rhinoceros younger. So, when you're done, go ahead and use cotton ball, squeeze it. We blend it from the top left to the bottom right. Sorry, forgot to remove the dots on the bottom radius. Okay, so when you're done blending with cotton ball, get your 6B or 8B pencil. We're gonna work on the eye first. The light comes from the top left to the bottom right, but it is covered by the upper lid. But because the eye is covered mostly by the upper lid, the highlights will not be obvious. The whole eye just really dark. We draw a curve to reserve the bright spot, not white. And then we use curved light to draw at the bottom of the pupil first, and based on that we shade to the top. The bottom will be important. The eye look kind of awkward because the whole iris is not dark enough. Use curved line. Lightly shade from the outline of the eye to the bottom. Will make the top of the eye darker than the bottom. The value will be darkest when it's close to the outline of the eye. And then relax your hand. We use curved line shade the wrinkle. When you shade the wrinkles, use soft line. The line should be thinner, lighter than the lines that you use to sketch and just go back and forth like that. It will help you create the texture. The valley will be darkest near the left and the right corner. And when you shaded the for lid, it's kind of tricky. I want to use circular pattern to shape, but I will reserve a little gap between the eye and the shadow at the very bottom. This will be the reflective light. It will make the upper lid look rounder when we do blending. You can see that I use loose lines to shade, and I follow along the direction. I'm not gonna draw exactly the same amount and the same wrinkles from the reference. I'll copy some, I'll remove some, but overall it would look like a rhinoceros. So that's the purpose of sketching. We're sketching the character of the model, the figure. We're not drawing exactly the same since we are not a camera. We keep the details that we feel beautiful, and we remove what are not harmonizing to the rest or to the idea of our art. Okay. So you can see that if you shade it well, and if you shade it lightly, gently, it will look kind of three-dimensional already, right? You have to check which part is the darkest one. That's why it's really important that you have the book with you to see which area is darkest, which area is dark and how it's darker compared to other area. The right side for sure will be darker than the left. Okay, so when you feel like you're done, we're gonna use Q-tip to work slowly. We're gonna work on the top first because the top is darker than the bottom. The left is brighter than, sorry, the top is brighter than the bottom and the left is brighter than the right. So we slowly work to the right. When you blend from the bottom, from the top to the bottom. If it has the wrinkle should be darkest at the bottom, brighter to the top. And be careful, you don't want to overuse or abuse Q-tip, since it will make everything blurry. When you blend, you also need to look at the reference. Not just like blend everywhere you want. We use Q-tip, somehow blend the line at the bottom. To me, it's kind of obvious, but not too obvious, you know. We go back, we touch up the top of the eye for sure. The left and the right corner. Some value on the left and the right side of the eye. You can see that when we touch up, we're not shading everywhere. focus on the right side, the bottom part. You see that I also use curved lines to shade it more and add subtle wrinkles at the bottom. Again, they are not obvious. Cut it loose. Then, when I reach the outline of the muscle around the nostril, I'll show you a little bit, then stop. From the top of the nostril, we use circular pattern to shape all the way to the bottom. And again, we are capturing the character. We are not copying the whole reference. The valley will be darkest at the top left, not the top. That's why you can see that the left and the top outline of the nostril are kind of clear. We use carefully to shade the lip corner. And then the more you shade to the left, the thicker the line is going to be. You can see that the valley is dark at the top and brighter to the bottom. It will not go under. It will, the bottom will be darker. Sorry, the top of the chin will be darker than the bottom. But the bottom of the chin overall will be darker than the top of the head. Then, we use curved lines. Look at the reference. We add some texture of wrinkles on the front. With the mouth like that. Make sure the left side is clear to separate the rhinoceros from the background. The top and the left side of the front of the face will be dark because of the cast shadow casted by the horn. You're done. I'm going to use Q-tip and blend from the top to the bottom. Blend gently from the brighter valley to the darker valley. When you blend the nostril, blend from the bottom to the top, from the right to the left. You want to squint your eyes to see the main value of the eye. I mean, to see the main value of the rhinoceros. When you squint your eyes, the contrast will be lower, and you will have a better vision of value. Where is the darkest, where it's darkest, and where it's brightest. And then there's a soft valley right here near the eye. When we are done, of course, we need to go back and add more shading. We're gonna add the highlights later. Just for now, um, make the shadow really dark, and then based on the darkest area, generate the other value. And again, the bottom of the wrinkles will be always darker than the top. The wrinkles will be dark and then fade away to the top. Then, when you work on the horn, start from the top. We make the top clear, dark. It will be almost as dark as the nostril, and then use curve light to add the cracks. Uh, So we add the texture first before we add the value. And the cracks are not straight. They kind of loose and follow the same direction. Add more cracks on the left. When you look at the reference, on the left side, the base is brighter than the skin. the base of the horn, brighter than the skin. But on the right side of the base of the horn is darker than the skin. The more the horn go to the bottom, the lighter it's gonna be. And then same thing to the second horn. The base will be darker than the skin. And you blend. Blend from the right to the left, blend from the top to the bottom. You're done. Touch up the wrinkle. The left side of the second horn will be brighter than the left side of the first horn. Then we shade lightly for the wrinkles at the bottom. We use circular pattern shade from the outline, the border between the outer ear and the inner ear shade to the left, and use curved line to add fur texture on the very left, at the top only. Overall, the left ear will be dark at the bottom and brighter to the top. It will be darker than the top of the head. We do the same to the right ear, but we do it in a backward way. We shade from the left to the right, not from the right to the left. And of course, on the top, we will make sure that we use curved lines to add the texture of fur, like that. The border is kind of dark because of the fur color. Then from the bottom of the ear, we shade all the way to the bottom. And then from the outline, we shade to the left. This will be the cast shadow casted by the ear. If you look at the reference, there will be a highlight hit, the value right here. It shows the shape and the form of the face, so make sure that you reserve the highlights right there. Otherwise, the cheek will not be chubby, it will be flat. The cast shadow will be dark when it's close to the object that cast it, so it will be dark when it's close to the ear. The skin in the back will be dark at the bottom and brighter to the top. I'm glad that I'm doing the lesson on uh, tutorial video, not in virtual class, because it will take a lot of time to capture the wrinkles, besides capturing the shape of our rhinoceros. The cast shadow casted by the head will be darker than the head for sure. And you can see that I use circular pattern to add the texture, but the value on the left side of the legs should be clear. I'm gonna add dark value next to the face like that, and the more go to the top, the lighter it's gonna be. We make it sketchy a little bit, because the skin of rhinoceros is not smooth. And as I go to the bottom, I add less shading. A lot to work. Under the ear, there will be some wrinkles. And if you have the book, we're not gonna sketch the bird on the top of the head. If you have the book, you will see that bird. Okay. Now when you do blending, we have to be careful a little bit. We blend from the bottom of the ear to the top, and we stop when we're about to reach the border. Then we blend from the bottom of the inner ear to the right. Use the dirty Q-tip that you have. Soften the wrinkles. Make them sort of connect to each other, like we are creating transition between the wrinkles. We blend from the outline to the left, but we will not go over the forehead because it will be the brightest area. We blend from the top of the inner ear to the bottom. We're gonna darken the back and keep the ear bright, but the right side of the ear will be darker than the body. I know it's weird, but it's just the way how we make the object look clear for our vision. You can see that when I blend on the face, I still follow the pattern of the muscle, or at least the wrinkles. Now you can see that the face and the value become more unified, right? I hope. Okay, it's more subtle. And then we blend the rest within the same pattern. When you're done, I'd recommend using cotton ball. Soften the bottom, like that. Use circular pattern to blend, and at some point it will help us create, um, you know, background for our rhinoceros. I'm gonna soften at the bottom a little bit. When you're done, of course, need to go back, touch up the wrinkles on the right. Make the wrinkles more obvious. We separate the lower face from the left shoulder. We emphasize the cast shadow, casted by the ear. We darken the dark inside the ear to add more depth. You can see that it's dark, but it's not blackish, right? It's dark and kind of brighter to the top right. I'm gonna work on the details a little bit. It has a lot of details to work on, but you only need to pick the most important one to work. For the wrinkles, pick the main one, the most obvious one to shade. So shading the wrinkles also help us touch up the value, make that area darker by adding more lines. So I feel like I'm almost done with that. You can spend more time to work on the wrinkles if you would like, if you would love to have, you know, more details. You're welcome to. Okay. For the next part, I'm going to use eraser to touch up some highlight. That. We're not drawing everywhere. We add the highlight under, right under the wrinkles. That's the brightest spot. You see that when we add a highlight, it looks different. We add highlights right at the border between the dark valley and the brighter valley. So when you're done, you can sign your work at the bottom right. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp my work. So that's all about the lesson for today, and I hope you found this lesson helpful and enjoyable. Keep sketching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.